Hello, folks. This is Don D.Neal. It is Saturday, November the 4th, 2017, and I'm going to be speaking to a witness, some witnesses here, and will have already seen the previous video of his encounter. And so I'm going to just turn this around for a moment. And what I want to tell you is that this family lived at this location. I don't want to give away the location. We're in Daviess County, Kentucky, outside of Owensboro, where there are sightings going back 50 and 60 years in Bon Harbor Hills, in Ben Hall State Park, along Panther Creek to the Sorgho area, and all around Windy Hollow. And those areas, I have stories going back 50 and 60 years. This family lived at this location near the Sorgho area and started having, back in 66, 67, and 68, began to have incidents at this farm. I want to go quickly and say that they kept quail here. There were hundreds and hundreds of quail, a business his father was involved in. There were peacocks. There was a cattle farm nearby and a pig farm, and Panther Creek running. So there's a water source and readily available food source. One incident is Jack here heard some noise and looked outside, and these large bird cages were being jostled at night. They were being moved, and he saw a large shadow walk away. The next day, hundreds of those birds were found dead. And then on the next occasion, Jack and his sister Pat were in the house, in this home, which is through those trees. I don't want to give away too much location. Jack was getting clothes out of a dryer, and sister was on the phone. And Jack, tell us real quickly what happened when you looked up at the window.
Just looked up at the window, and the best that video or picture would be this right here. I saw an image, and I screamed out, and Pat saw it. She threw the phone, and it was gone. I mean, that as quick as it appeared, it just took off.
All right, Pat, do you pretty well agree that's close as you can remember?
Yeah, I was, the kitchen area joined right out of the laundry room. I'm 6 years older than Jack.
Okay.
So I was about 17 at the time. No, this was the year before. I was about 16 and he was about 10 when this happened.
Okay.
And I was sitting up on the kitchen counter just on the phone.
Typical teenager.
Yep. And kind of, looking around. Jack said, he shouted out, and I looked in that way. I saw the face in the window.
Wow.
It scared me to death. I just threw the phone up in the air. And I think I had a girlfriend over there at the same time. All of us kids that were in the house were so terrified, we went and locked ourselves in the bathroom. And we stayed in there for an hour and a half or so till Mom and Dad came home.
I don't blame you.
I saw a very scary face in the window.
I want to get this one more time, folks. This is as close as he can remember, and the closest picture he can find. Not exactly, but that's in his mind what he remembers seeing. Now, Jack, you can put the picture down. Also, we want to add that, again, you're going to see Jack's story of his last encounter previous to this video. But also with that sighting, which would have been about the third incident they had at this home, his brother had a sighting on the property where a tree was uprooted, and the brother went out to look and saw a creature. And the reason I want to add that, when his brother described the facial features of his close face-to-face encounter, it was almost exactly identical to the creature that Jack sees in 1968 at the location right here within 50 yards of where I'm standing. And so what I want to also include, this is Jack's wife. Her name is Jane. Yes. And Jane can be a great character reference. Jane, how many years have y'all been married?
We've been married 40 years,
okay.
And he always tells the truth. I have to say he's like Honest Abe.
Okay, that's a great reference from a wife. And last but not least, at the end of the story that Jack tells previous to this video, he was left in the truck. He's blowing the horn. The creature has looked at him face to face and has now left. And the teenagers are over at the window of this house. They're asking the sister here if she can slip them some food out the window. You know, teenagers, 1 o'clock in the morning, they're riding around and they're making a food raid, and they leave Jack in his truck right here where those vehicles are sitting. This was a gravel road. Anyway, I want Jane to just add, she's at the window getting these guys food, and what she hears and the condition of her brother when they brought him back. Pat, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, it was about 1 in the morning, and the other boys came up tapping on my window. Probably wanted me to get a frozen pizza out of the freezer and reach it out the window to them or so. But about the time, I really can't remember if I had even gone to get the food or not. That probably doesn't matter. But I was at the window with the boys. And we heard sounds coming from back here. Of course, it's been a long, long time ago, but I know that it was a disruption. It sounded unusual.
You heard the horn honk?
Yeah, we heard the horn honk. All I can describe is that it sounded like there was a commotion and some unusual sounds and the horn honking. And the boys right then, they just said, something's going on out there. Something's the matter with Jack. We got to go right now. And they took off running. And then I kept watching and wondering, well, where they went. I went to the back door. I looked out, went back to my window and kept watching. They brought Jack up from this gravel road up into the back side yard. And I could tell that he was as white as a sheet. He was really upset. I think he was crying. He was shaking. I would say he was in, like, at least shock.
Wow.
All I can tell you is that I know something happened, and I know he was very upset. I can witness to that.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Any closing statements, anything you'd like to say? You had one of the most exciting eyewitness accounts I've ever heard of, and certainly the closest I've ever heard
I
of.
would say so, and everything here, I would take it to the grave with me. I mean, if God gives us a reason to be able to make decisions, and the decisions that I made, it was nothing in a suit. It was a live creature of some type.
Awesome. I cannot thank you all enough. Thank you for this interview.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.